Sure, don't forget to smile.
All right.
The goat-eating frog was so funny.
Hey, and welcome. I'm Jasper. This is Chi, and together with Peter,
Hi everyone.
we're talking about art and music today.
The new music for this update is its own thing. It's completely unique. It has its own unique identity. And we do sort of reference the overall theming of Minecraft music, but we don't use specific segments or references per se. The inspiration for the music this time around could be summarized in one word, I think, and that is earthy. So the wild update mostly takes place in the mangrove swamp, so we want to reflect that sort of piece of nature with the twisting vines and the wooden landscape with the music as well. So we're using lots of instruments that are related to the regions where you can find the mangroves.
The mud texture was really difficult to develop. We have had a lot of iterations because mud is a very organic thing, but the blocks in Minecraft, they're all just boxes. So we really had to figure out how to make it look smoother and more natural. So we added like different kind of tints like purple, blue, and even red in order to make it look very organic and natural to set it apart from stone.
My favorite block is the mangrove roots. It's got a really interesting shape within the block, which is a plus shape. It gives the block an extra depth and makes it look unique, I would say.
And also like the watercolor is like tropical blue in order to reflect, the clean water in mangrove swamps, because the mangrove trees, they actually take a lot of garbage and bacteria and CO2 in their roots and in the mud instead. So the water becomes more clean and clear in there. In the wild update, when it comes to colors, it's a little bit different with like different things. Like blocks have entire different criteria than mobs. For example, the frog, we look a lot more to like realistic expectations. So we have the white frog in the warmer climates. There's a species of frog that lives in warm climates that is white, and they're white to reflect the light from them so they don't retain the warmth or the heat. But we also have the green frog.
Yeah, we have shown the green frog during live as well, which was a darker green frog. But I think we ultimately decided to make it more saturated green to cover the iconic green colors of the other frogs as well. So that's why we have a more saturated green frog in colder climates. While creating the frog, we went through a lot of iterations, and we concepted the frog in many different shapes and colors, and we ultimately came with this cute and derpy brown frog. But when we put it into the game, it turned out it was really big, and we were like, "Oh no, this is too big." So we went back to the drawing board, and I quickly resized the frog, made the eyes bigger, but the body smaller, and it was perfect. That was cute and derpy frog. We also explored a lot of behaviors, as like the tongue, how will the frog actually eat. I scale the tongue like long and made it long, and it takes only a second or two, and it shoots back. So it's fine that we scale it, we stretch it a bit. Yeah.
We also had to make the mouth very big because we didn't know what it was going to eat yet, and if it was going to eat bees, the mouth needed to be really big to eat bees. There was a funny bug though in one of the snapshots where it would eat goats all the time, but it would have made sense because the mouth is big enough to eat an entire goat.
The goat-eating frog was so funny. The goat horn was really anticipated by players, I know that, and we tried to really spend time making it right. So we put in some of the raid horns from previous updates, so players could play around with that, just because it's fun. And we added a couple of new versions as well, which are based on the copper horn music, sort of, the musical aspect of that horn. And just for fun, I processed the raid horns a bit as well, and added in like a party horn as well that I processed. So yeah, hope players find that fun.
As you might know, the Warden is a very complex mob, and while I was working on the digging animations, digging up and digging back down, this is something that no mob has ever done. And how do we do this? I work to make sure that the timing is right, make sure that when it goes down, it's not going down like an elevator, but it actually digs. That's a feeling we want to convey, like this rage, like the Warden is angry and annoyed, and it wants to go down and surprise a player again at some point.
We are really proud of this soundtrack, and if you're like me and want to listen more, you can do that on Spotify and YouTube and other digital platforms.